Welcome to Quest for Kids. I'm Silly Patterson.
And I'm Xavier Patterson. And Quest for Kids is about empowering preteens, teenagers, and young adults through conversations with the people that deal with the most. And our guest today is
Reyn Harpole.
Hey.
Just explain who you are and what you do.
That is a tough thing to explain because I'm a wild animal. But I'm really tall, but I'm garbage at basketball. So, but really, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a pastor, a youth pastor, and I love all of it. I love to get to do all of it. And I think that if you know me, you're either going to really enjoy being around me or you're going to be really embarrassed around me because I just love to like be a goober and have a blast and like just do a bunch of ridiculous stuff all the time. I'm good at like a bunch of just random junk like juggling and hacky sack and riding a scooter and stuff like that. But I really love music and art, and I think all that stuff sort of comes together to, I don't know, make me the youth pastor that I am and that I get to be. And so, I don't know, I love it all.
What got you into youth ministry?
What got me into youth ministry was really sort of just, I wanted to be for students what someone was for me. Whenever I was growing up, I got into like a lot of really bad stuff and was doing a lot of things that I shouldn't and looking at things I shouldn't and saying things I shouldn't and all that. And it was a church and a youth ministry who helped me get through it and get out on the other side and be better. And so I guess I just made it my life mission to do that for as many people as I possibly could. And I always said if I could do it for one person, then my life would be complete, because I feel like I could have gone to jail or gotten hurt or just ended up in a really terrible place, but I didn't. And I thank God for that. And it was because of like people in a church and a youth ministry who helped me. So yeah, I wanted to do that for other students whenever I got older, and here I am.
I noticed your gauges. Do they hurt? Just curious.
Oh, these old things right here? No, man, they don't hurt. You could yank on them, and I could even put them over my ear like this.
Oh my.
Yeah, I can take one out right now if you want me to.
What? I'm curious about this.
I'll tell you right now, it just looks like a piece of calamari. Like, you know what I'm talking about? At a buffet.
Oh my gosh. It doesn't hurt?
No.
How does that work? Just like...
There's like no nerve endings in your earlobe anyway, so, you know, your ears are pierced, right? So,
yeah.
Are your ears pierced?
No.
Not yet. So, I pierced mine myself, and then slowly over time, I just started stretching them out little by little, and it never hurts. It has the illusion that it hurts and I'm all hardcore, but I'm really just a big weenie. So, yeah, it's just for looks, but I've been able to have more spiritual conversations with people because of these dumb gauges than like I ever would have otherwise. Yeah, because people just ask. People ask. They say like, well, they assume that I worship Satan or something immediately just by the look of me. And I get to say, actually, it's the exact opposite. And they're like, what? And I'm like, Jesus. And so...
Wait, so you preach through your gauges?
Yeah, all the time. And it's just random conversations. It's usually little kids who say something in society. And they're like, Mommy, what's wrong with that guy's ears? And like before the mom can shut her up, it's like, shut up, Susie. Does your daughter want to know about? And we get into this conversation. And I tell them I'm a pastor. And we end up talking about Jesus like all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, that's most of the reason why I even have them. I wanted to have them to have conversations with people and just be different and give me something to, I don't know, start conversations. So thanks for asking though, and not just like staring and judging like a lot of people. So.
Do you ever feel that stuff in your past empowers you to preach?
Yeah, all the time. I think it gives me credibility. Like, have you ever listened to somebody preach at you or to you, but they've never been through anything that they're talking about or that you're going through, and it's like, man, this guy or girl, like, they don't know what they're talking, like, they don't know what it's like to struggle. And I think God really like allowed me to go through the junk I went through as a kid, to make me relatable and to give me, I guess, just sort of be a representation of hope for people who are going through stuff. Because like I mentioned, I mean, I was drinking at parties in high school. I was like seeing how far I could get with as many girls as I could get as possible. I was stealing, I was vandalizing, I was sneaking out, lying, cussing, like you name it, I was doing it. And, but like God really rescued me out of that. And a lot of my friends whose life was going a different direction, or that same direction, I guess, they ended up in a very different place than I did. And I'm lucky and fortunate and blessed. But I guess that's hope for people who are dealing with self-harm, who are dealing with identity and adequacy and insufficiency and like depression and doing all that stuff. Like they can see that, hey, there's somebody who's been there and they got through it. So there's hope for me. I'm thankful for it. I wasn't thankful for it at the time because it sucked to go through, but I'm thankful for it now.
I know at youth ministry, you talk about real hard stuff. And it's sometimes uncomfortable. Like, does it ever make you nervous to talk about stuff like that?
Man, I feel an obligation to talk about it. And so, I don't know, yeah, I get a little nervous just from being honest, but don't tell anybody. But really, it's more important than my nerves. So I know I have to do it. And I'm really more nervous of like the parents, I think, than I am the students. Because I think students, here's the deal, like if I'm going to talk about like pornography at a youth service or something, and a parent's like, oh, little Timmy, the 13-year-old, my son, my sweet baby angel, he's not old enough to hear about this topic and stuff, but she doesn't know that the average age for a student to see porn for the first time is 11 in this country. And so I'm like, I have to talk about it. It's a safe environment where we love like these students, and they're seeing this stuff all the time, like on social media and in real life and movies and ads and commercials, like whatever. I mean, it's everywhere. And so they're talking about it anyway, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, any nerves I feel or any fear I feel, I'm kind of just like, I don't care, because it's more important to talk about it in a safe, loving environment than any of that.
Why do you feel that the students come to you instead of their parents?
I think that I strike like a weird, lucky balance that I'm an adult who knows stuff and can give decent advice, but every parent is an adult who knows stuff who can give decent advice. But I'm also not their parent, so it's kind of this like awesome, like special sacred place that I'm in, where they can open up, they can trust me, and what we talk about stays with us, right? So it's like you can confess and you can confide, and here's like a person who's been there and like has all these. It's sort of like this perfect recipe or something for someone to help, but you're not a parent. But little do they know, like I'm always gonna point you back to your parent, because your parent's the one who loves you and like who lives with you. I get students for 1-2 hours a week maybe or something. The potential for me to make a real big difference is very limited. But if I can get a parent on board, and it's like the ministry and the family working together and like we're partnered, then that's whenever there's like the most effectiveness for growing up like really strong, God-fearing, men and women. I sort of just leverage that really delicate balance, and I am safe. I'm never gonna go squeal to a parent unless a student's in danger or they are a danger to themselves or others. And in that case, I have like a responsibility, but to report. But like, otherwise, I'm gonna say, have you shared this with your parents? And they're like, no. They're so ashamed and they're afraid of letting their parents down and disappointing them. They don't have to be, and I want to help like encourage those conversations and stuff. So, but if they never choose to do that, then I'll listen all day long, and that's okay. I feel like a hypocrite sometimes because I confided in youth leaders when I was in high school, and they would encourage me to go talk to my parents or talk to another adult or somebody, and I never did. So now I'm sitting here doing the same thing, and I'm like, man, I need to take my own advice.
So you are fostering 2 babies right now. What made you want to foster?
Oh, well, my wife, she has some medical issues, and that I guess I knew about before we even got married at all. And so we knew having our own kids was going to be really difficult, if not impossible. So we started talking about probably fostering and adopting kids someday. We got married and, ended up being able to have 2 biological kids, Emerson and Everett, who are 4 and 3 years old right now. But through a bunch of complications and difficulty, it was really close. Like Everett, he was born not breathing and he couldn't breathe or eat on his own at all, like for the first couple weeks of his life. It was really touch and go. And after that, we're no longer able to have any more biological kids, but we knew we wanted a bigger family and to have more kids because we had talked about it like back in the day, and we'd become aware of this great need that there are all these kids being born like all the time and they have nowhere to go and they need families to love them. And it's, to us, it was like, once you know something like that, I can't not do something about it, Yeah. Again, I just felt like a responsibility. And so after we got on our feet with like our own 2 biological kids, we were ready to open up our home to fostering. And we've fostered like 6 kids, I think. Wow. And we've returned them. Like we foster them for a while and we only take infants. Most people say that's like the worst. Y'all are crazy. It's the hardest. To me, I think it's easy as pie because an infant doesn't do anything. They sleep like 23 hours a day. They just wake up, they like cry, slap a new diaper on them, shove a bottle in their mouth, they go right back to sleep again, and it's easy. So we just take infants like over and over and over again, and they go back to their family, they go back home, and like that's great. And we always said if a kid had nowhere else to go, no family, no relatives, no one for them, then we would adopt them. And the 2 that we have in our house right now, Maisie and Ivy. Maisie's 1.5. Ivy she just turned 1 like last Tuesday, and we're moving towards adopting both of them. So we'll be a family of 6. It's ridiculous. Me, a dad, and a family of 6. It's ridiculous. I don't know why, but that's crazy. But I love it, and they're awesome.
Okay, there's been one question that I just have been wanting to ask you.
Okay.
What is the craziest thing you've done?
Oh my gosh. If I can, maybe I can share it. I have so many, and this is like the old me, y'all. Don't judge me, okay? This old me is gone. Yeah, he's dead, and the new has come. So, but if I leave out locations and names, I think I can share this with you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Get your pillow ready and everything. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I mentioned that I like to sneak out and vandalize things and stuff. I'm so embarrassed, man. But anyway, so it was some of my friends. We met up in the middle of the night, and we were just gonna sneak out and go vandalize some stuff, right? We'd like to hit up construction sites, like, they're building hotels and stuff, and like they weren't done yet, and you climb all through the scaffolding and mess with like the paint and the caulking and the nail guns that they left out overnight and stuff. Anyway, they were building a school. And so we hit this school up in the middle of the night, and we were climbing all through the scaffolding, and we got to like the top of the gymnasium. So it was like 3 or 4 stories high. And it was at the point in the building process where like they were working on the air conditioning duct and like the roofing and stuff. So guys were on the roof like all day for weeks working on it. So there was to stop them from coming down, I guess there was porta potties like up on the roof. You already know where I'm going with this, but like,
my gosh,
because they'd be up there all day, so like they needed to go to the bathroom, there's a porta potty right there. Anyway, my friends and I are up there. We all have this idea. Actually, it was probably my idea, but anyway, I was like, there's 5 or 6 of us, and I was like, what if we all like take turns, like using the bathroom in this porta potty? So we all it took a while. There's enough toilet paper, thankfully. We all used the porta potty, and then we shimmy it to the edge of the building and just like yeet it off the side, just like this is Sparta, like straight up. And it flies off the side, and it's like in slow motion, and it's like and it like hit the ground and exploded. And you know how like porta potties have like that like air tube vent to like ventilate the smell up on the top or whatever? I remember this so vividly that like when it hit and exploded, just like a stream, like a missile of dookie just like flew out that tube. It's like
oh my
and
god.
we were all like, run! And like we all took off. We were so afraid they were gonna call the cops or like someone saw or heard, and so we just left and no one ever got caught or anything. There's a few more things like that of just rooftop antics, but none of it was legal or good, and I'm so sorry. Do you forgive me?
Yes. That was the old you.
Yeah, I haven't done that in weeks. Yeah, I mean years. Oh yeah, so.
Thanks so much for sharing with us though.
You're welcome. I think they're gonna come after me now.
Really, like, thank you for sharing with us today, and
For sure.
we've enjoyed it very much.
Very much.
Yeah, for sure. I've enjoyed it too. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming here today.
Yeah.
And just showing up.
It's an honor and a privilege. Y'all are awesome. And so anything you need, I got you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for listening, and that's Quest for Kids.
Hi, Squeaker.
Squeaker because she was doing that upstairs.
Hey, little girl. She's little, but she's big.
Adorable.